Learned non-disclosure agreements were used in the final negotiations of California's fast food minimum wage law. Multiple sources close to all sides of the negotiations tell us the powerful labor group at the table, SEIU, directed all parties involved to sign them. A non-disclosure agreement is a legally binding contract that forced the few people involved in those negotiations to keep things confidential and to keep the public and basically the rest of the fast food industry in the dark about how this law came together. So who else was in the room? Our sources told us that included representatives with McDonald's Corporation, Yum Brands, the International Franchise Association, and the National Restaurant Association. We repeatedly contacted all of those groups and the SEIU, and they either declined to comment or did not respond. A source close to the labor side of the negotiations said SEIU actually uses NDAs regularly in high-stakes negotiations to build trust with their opponents. We also reached out to the person who oversaw those negotiations, Governor Gavin Newsom. His office says the governor did not sign an NDA, nor did he direct anyone to in these negotiations. We've asked him if he is okay with the use of NDAs in the public policy making process that impacts hundreds of thousands of workers and a key part of the state's economy. We are still waiting to hear back. Those we've reached out to in the Capitol community are shocked by this, including longtime Capitol observer and McGeorge School of Law professor Chris McCaley. He says he's never heard of anything like this being used before.
It comes as a surprise that they have been used on a regular basis by any group, regardless whether they are employer groups, labor groups, environmental or consumer groups. I'm not sure that who uses them matter. I think the concern that we should have is potential lack of transparency and disclosure. Remember, the lawmaking process is being done on behalf of the people of California.
We will note we have not seen a copy of the non-disclosure agreements. We do not know their terms or how they would be enforced. But again, we don't know if those NDAs keep us from understanding how exactly that exemption for bakeries ended up in this law. Back to you.